I hope you'll bear with me. I've been doing so well this feast, and I have a never-ending sinus infection that actually did go away for a few days, but the day that I needed to come up here is the day that it decided that it wasn't going to have it. So I brought me a drink. I should be just fine. In Matthew chapter 5, I'll read a couple verses here to begin. I'll begin in verse 14 in Matthew 5. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand. And it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. When we think of the light that we shine, well, I think a little about it here and there, and I don't know if we think enough about the way that we act and the way that we conduct ourselves. And I had been doing a little bit of thinking, and I did a little message similar to this one not too long ago, but I decided that maybe we all needed to hear it again, and a lot of you haven't heard it before. But I've been thinking a lot about that line that shines from within me, and the light that shines from within each and every one of us. And I saw an article about how the human body and mind reacts to different colors, different lights. And the different colored lights are used for obviously different things. And it's really sort of unbelievable how much thought goes into the effects of the light and the color in them in our everyday life. I have a few examples. Have you noticed that in movies, if the mood is happy, you may see bright, cheerful colors, but if it's mysterious, it may be dark. Not a lot of color, a lot of shadows. I was thinking The Price is Right is about the brightest, most exciting atmosphere in the world, and a lot of it is those bright, colorful lights you see. And I don't know how many of y'all have seen that before. I expect a lot of us. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about it, but that bright, colorful light and all the flashing and things, it works. It makes things exciting. Or if you're into scary movies, which I am not, when that clown is just about to attack, things get dark and quiet, maybe a little bit of creepy music, and then suddenly you've been startled out of your seat, right? That's how it works. I'm assuming that's how it works because I've seen commercials. I don't like those kinds of things. I like to, be scared naturally. I don't need movies to terrify me at night. But I've been forced to watch a few of those commercials, and I know exactly when to cover my eyes. More examples of ways that we interact with color. Driving down the road. If you see red and blue flashing lights from somewhere, you're either speeding or you're going 30 and a 70. But either way, I hope our first instinct would be to get out of the way. We know what red and blue mean. Green, yellow, and red lights, I think we all know where those come into our lives at the intersection. Most people know how to use those. How many times have you driven through a green light, but then a sudden burst of panic comes about you because you don't really know if that light was actually green, and you wonder if you didn't just run a red light? I've had that happen. But you suddenly realize, most of the time, that the light was green. You realized it, you just weren't really maybe paying very close attention to it, but you knew subconsciously that that light was green. Or you ran a red light, one of the two. The human body is capable of amazing things and colors all around us. And around here, about not too far from now, we get to see a lot of beautiful colors in the foliage, or the way the sunset paints beautiful colors in the sky. And one thing I see pictures of frequently, the Northern Lights. That's something to behold all in its own. There are a lot of different colors. A lot of the time you see green, but there are other colors associated with it: pink, yellow, blue, violet, occasionally orange and yellow. I mean, orange and white, I already said yellow. But, and that's from typically when particles hit from solar winds collide with oxygen or nitrogen, it produces one of those colors. But once again, the point is that these colors all carry meaning, and they all have an effect on us, on our mood, on our daily life. If you think of a commercial for a baby product, the color white is probably the first thing you would notice. It's almost always there. And that's because they say white symbolizes the beginning of something: innocence, purity, safety, cleanliness. These words are often associated with babies and new life. Therefore, the commercials draw us in with those subtle uses of white along with the other colors, and that puts those words into our mind. And there are other colors as well. Blue carries feelings of calmness, faith, and trust. Blue lighting, it has an effect on the body in a variety of ways, they say. Findings show that the human eye has photoreceptors that are sensitive to blue light, and that affects your internal clock. And they say because of that, blue lighting is good when you're waking up suffering from jet lag. That'll help you readjust your internal clock. That's sort of strange. It can be used also to increase blood flow. I've seen lighting used in strange ways, and I've never really thought about it before. And that is, because the skin is also sensitive to the color blue. And it can, once again, they say remove pain from the body and promote healing. Green is also a calming color. It conveys hope, soothing, healing. It's been called the color of life. Renewal, nature, and energy, they're associated with it, meanings of growth, harmony, freshness, safety, fertility, and environment, of course. And of course, green is also traditionally associated with money. The color green is most visible and sensitive color to the human eye. Green can also enhance learning and concentration. That's why you may sometimes see that in a school. Yellow is a warming color. It can evoke feelings of happiness, joy, as well as spark muscle energy and mental activity. The color yellow catches attention. It's why it's used so often on taxi cabs and school buses. Excuse me. In a hospital, warm tones of yellow lighting are used to create a relaxing and cozy atmosphere, and that can help patients get to sleep at night. Orange is a welcoming color, creating another friendly atmosphere. Some of the meanings they've come up with for the color orange are friendship, endurance, enthusiasm, and creativity. Orange lighting is perfect for bringing home a newborn baby, making them feel at home, welcome, and comfortable. And here's something I didn't know. Red, orange, and yellow, they're some of the first colors a baby can see. It can also stimulate appetite, of course. What color can't stimulate appetite? I don't know about that. And you know, that's why it may occasionally be associated with healthy foods. It can increase oxygen to the brain, therefore triggering increased mental activity. And if that's true, I think we should probably go paint Washington, D.C. orange. Light purple generates feelings of wisdom and inspiration. There's the other side here. Dark purple, it can deter people because it can be associated with sadness or frustration. Red, the color red, the color of extremes, is the color of love, of violence, of danger, and anger. Prehistoric man saw red as the color of fire and blood. These colors, they subconsciously affect our everyday life. They're used strategically in retail, restaurants, schools, hospitals to elicit specific feelings. While they each have a separate meaning, they have a separate feeling as well associated with them, and they do affect our mood. Whether the colors are being used to enhance sleep patterns, cure jet lag, they say, promote healing, or generate mental activity, these colors, they help us all. Just as we are subconsciously affected by these different colors, we ourselves are subconsciously emitting our light for others to see. And just as physical color can have strange effects on our health and mood, your lights are all shining, and we cannot hide our lights. The light that you shine subconsciously affects everyone around you. I think you know what's coming, but I have to ask the question. What color is the light that you're putting off? Is it a white light? Are you emitting innocence, purity, safety, and cleanliness? I'd say probably not always. How about blue? Calmness, faith, and trust. Is that what we're emitting now? I'm sure that's our goal. Is your light green? Are we conveying hope, soothing, and healing? Or possibly, could it be that our light is dark purple or red? Are you emitting frustration? Are you just an angry person? I work with people that say that. They're just angry people. That's just who I am. You better get used to it. Well, that's not us, is it? But we try not to let it be us. But I'm sure occasionally our lights are shining those darker colors. But maybe we should consider who we're letting see our light, the people who are seeing them, whether we know it or not, whether we recognize the color of our own light or not. We should. Do you have children, grandchildren? Maybe you work with with special needs. It doesn't matter. All people that we're in contact with every single day, they're affected by the light that you shine. It is in our nature to have an ever-changing color of light with our mood or attitude. And I'm going to say, yeah, we've definitely all probably put off deep red or dark purple from time to time. We need to focus on letting our light shine for our calling's sake and for all those around us. Our bad attitude or bad day, it can tear other people apart, only if we allow it. And it can drive people from us and from the truth that we're supposed to hold on the tightest. Have we become numb to hearing the old saying, the end is near, the end is near? Do you believe it to be the truth? Or have we allowed ourselves to sort of get in a rut of just hearing the same old thing over and over? A frame of mind where the truth and the church have become just a routine in our lives. It's hard to say it, but we have it really, really easy right now. It's easy to get stressed out about things going on in the world, but we do have it easy, and if we're struggling now, we really need to focus on buckling down and get ready for the bumpy ride ahead, because it's not going to always be easy. Life can be frustrating. No one can argue with that. We are all going through it. We all have to let our light shine. And we're all going to get through it if we don't lose our faith. At the beginning, we read in Matthew 5, and I began in verse 14. But just above that, in verse 13, Jesus said, "You are the salt of the earth." We're spread out, but we're called out also of the world individually. And we've all been given understanding of God's law and how this world, Satan's world, how it works to destroy us. It works to destroy our understanding. It is disgusting. It truly is. This world is full of deception. It is full of hate. And through it all, it's important for us, it's our job, to always be certain that your light is shining, and that light is a light that you and all the people around you can take pride in. It's our job to let our light shine as brightly as possible, no matter where we're at. It doesn't matter where we're at. We are the same people everywhere we go. That's how we should be. And we need the world to see our good works. And we need them to know that our light, it comes from and it shines for our Father in heaven. It is also important to know that people of the world, they have a light, and they let their light shine too. But theirs is a light of sin and deceit. I thought of this a little bit this morning. Satan's light is sort of like a bug zapper. We're attracted to it. It draws us in by design. But we can identify that light, and we can and we must turn away from it. The things that power the light of the world, the worldly light, Satan's light, if you'd like to call it that, are things like what are listed in Galatians 5. I'll go there and read. And Galatians 5, here we'll begin here in verse 19. Excuse me again. My mouth has been very dry today with this medication I've been on. Galatians 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are evident, which are adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lewdness, idolatry, sorcery, hatred, contentions, jealousies, outbursts of wrath, selfish ambitions, dissensions, heresies, envy, murders, drunkenness, revelries, and the like. It says, of which I tell you beforehand, just as I also told you in past time, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. That's Satan's light. That's the light of the world. And you know, I should probably go on and read a bit more. Verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. And those who are Christ's have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. That is what the world should see in us and in our light that we shine. We really don't have to think a lot about this when we're here or when we're safely at home in control. But when we go out, when we step out into the world, when we go back to work or go wherever it is, we are not in complete control of our surroundings. So that does require us to work an awful lot. It requires us to work nonstop to protect ourselves, to protect our light. And we cannot let our light be outshined by the world's light or changed also. I think we can all tell when our light is changing. So can the people around you. I know that if I'm having a bad day, I know others know. And if I let that control my entire life, my entire day, well, I know they see that light shining, not necessarily in a good way. It is hard, but we should really try to never allow others to see us without our spiritual light shining very bright. And I think you know that. We've all conquered those bad days before and turned it around. A day that really had a lot of potential, and I'm sure you could think of one, had a lot of potential of going wrong. One positive thought, it can turn your day around. It can turn your coworker's day around, if that's who is having a bad day. That's sort of our job. We're supposed to be trying to help people, help everyone see our light, help them shine their light bright as well. And doing that, and knuckling down and overcoming those negative feelings and really striving to be positive, that will reverse the direction of your day. If you do that day after day, it'll reverse the direction of your life. It has great potential of doing so. It is all about how we perceive things, and we should be positive. Our salvation depends on each one of us individually, holding tight to the truth and spreading the good news. How could we possibly expect to teach those around us if we ourselves have been corrupted by the world? We can't allow any corruption in our lives. And I speak personally, our personal lives, that's when we're away from each other. It's when we're most vulnerable. And we do need to really focus on not allowing that corruption in. It does change the color of our light, and that means we really must prevent it. And if any corruption exists already, we must crush it. When you're feeling stressed, just maxed out on stress, and it feels like the world and Satan are winning, that's the moment that we should pause and remember and reflect upon God's plan for us. Not only us, but the world. You do have the power within you, even in your most overwhelming seeming moments, to pause and think. We never lose the ability to just think and remember. And that can truly change our day as well. It is difficult, but if we could just slow down in those moments, boy, it'd really be easy to come to the conclusion that we do have it very easy right now. Sometimes the world can overwhelm. And if you are in need of spiritual help, what do? I used this one before. Let's say you have 5 candles. They're burning. 1 candle burns out. What do? You take one of the candles that are still burning and relight the one that went out. Any one of us can suffer burnout. And that doesn't mean it's the end, and it shouldn't mean it's the end. But we got to seek out the light. You have to seek out the light of the brethren that's still burning. Seek each other out. And we can ignite each other's flame. But watch out, because the bug zapper's out there waiting to get you too. So focus on the right light. And finally, I guess I'd just say that in every moment of our life, we make the decision. What I mean is, you make the decision to go the right way or the wrong way. It really is that simple. It's your decision. Choose wisely.